For Canadians looking to spend our travel dollars here at home, we challenge travel journalist Lauren Christie to highlight some of our country's most underrated attractions, ones that have a hidden wow factor without the hordes of crowds and tourists that might not be on your travel radar yet, but they should be. So what did Lauren come up with? Let's find out together live right now. How you doing, Lauren?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. I love the idea of highlighting underrated tourist attractions because there's so many overrated ones. We've been let down by tourist attractions before. And I know that recently there was like a worldwide ranking that came out and a couple spots in Canada made the list.
Yeah,
right?
there is a flight booking app called Wingy. And so what they did is they took TripAdvisor top rated locations from all around the world, including 50 here in Canada. And they looked at the keyword data. They analyzed it to sort of say, okay, who didn't get a high ranking but had all these amazing things said about it, like remarkable, hidden gems, spectacular, whatever.
Right.
So in the top 10, there was actually a few Canadian ones. So at number 5, Stonehall Castle in Regina, which I have to admit I have never heard of.
I haven't either.
Never heard of it, so therefore underrated, I guess.
Look at that.
It was built after a 1912 cyclone knocked down the Dark family home. And so Francis, who was one of the mayors of Regina at one point, rebuilt a limestone castle for their home so that they could be protected from future climate issues.
Wow.
But this castle houses the largest collection of 17th century art, tapestries, and furniture in Canada.
Really?
You can stay overnight in 3 of the suites. $50 if you just want to go look around. But anyway, so very underrated and great. The other one that made the top 10 is the Rooms in St. John's, Newfoundland.
I don't know of that one either.
It's great. I have been there for an event. It's absolutely spectacular building. Great views of St. John's, but it also houses the archives, the Provincial Art Gallery, as well as exhibition space. Sorry, tongue twister there. But yeah, it's great. For $12, you can go in. It's closed on Mondays. Hot tip, if you want to go Wednesday night, it's free for the exhibitions.
Those two should definitely be on our radar.
Yeah, for sure.
That's incredible. You travel a lot. You've been in the business for years. You were telling me, what's your country count at now?
Oh, 70-something.
70-something countries. That's absolutely amazing. But here in Canada, you travel a lot as well. Have you discovered any other kind of underrated gems in your own travels?
For sure. So last year, I've been very lucky. I go on a boat house trip every year for the last few years. And so went on the Trent Severn and the Peterborough Lift Lock, which was built in 1904. It is one of the tallest operating hydraulic lift locks in the world. Wow. It's an engineering marvel. And I swear to God, I found it more exciting than a roller coaster.
Really?
Yes, you go in and you go up in your boat. You go 65 feet high, almost 20 meters. You're going above the trees in your boat on this lift lock. And it's incredible. I will say it probably won't be underrated for too much longer. The whole Trent Severn Waterway was voted one of the 52 places to visit in 2025 by the New York Times, so it may not be a secret for too much longer. And a quick shout out to the boat. I will say they have 15% off if you book between tomorrow and the 18th of March, so well worth doing. It was stunning, absolutely stunning.
Hot tip, I love it. Some friends of ours have a cottage on the Trent Severn, and it's amazing there.
Beautiful.
So great. Some of our viewers may know, and your fans may know, you're from Nova Scotia. You spend part of your summer there every year. Do you have like a hidden, underrated hotspot in Nova Scotia? Yeah,
apart from where I actually spend my summer, because that'll stay hidden. Yeah. But along that same coast, it's called, a lot of people think of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, the South Shore. Well, the North Shore is pretty spectacular. Right. And that's the piece that goes along by the Northumberland Strait. And there's a town there called Tatamagouche, which over the last decade or even 2 decades has just blossomed into this beautiful tourism town. It's got Yost Wineries close by, the Tatamagouche Craft Brewery. There's a provincial park with a hike to a waterfall, which is pretty stunning. Look at that. Lots of little cafes, including one that's in an old railway station, which I absolutely love. I go there almost every summer for a little lunch in the railway car. There you are. Really nice. So if you're going on the highway to go to Cape Breton or some of these other places or over to Prince Edward Island, take the coastal drive and see Tatamagouche.
Wow, Tatamagouche it's called.
Tatamagouche.
Great photo. I hosted a show for years called Mighty Trains about trains around the world. So I love that you can have lunch in a train car.
It's awesome.
That's amazing. So Lauren, there are so many underrated spots to check out. Where can people learn more if they really want to dig into this topic?
See, this is the challenge, Teddy, because if it's underrated or unknown or hidden, there's a reason, because no one knows about them. Right. But I will give a shout out. The Globe and Mail for the last 7 years or so has done a Hidden Canada series every year. And so they ask journalists from around the country to give their favorite little hidden gems. So there's great ones. And one of my friends, Miriam Siddiqui, give a shout out to her. Yeah. Great writer. She wrote one about Battle Harbor in Labrador, which I had never heard of before, and I am dying to go. Speaking of the rooms, it was one of the cod fishing rooms, so these little village outposts on an island that was abandoned in the 60s when they moved the permanent residents off the island. But in the 1990s, a historic trust took it over, and they turned all of the buildings into little boutique hotels. They preserved them, not all of the buildings, but some of the buildings, so the boutique hotels, but also places that you could visit, lots of little historic sites, all clapboard. only open in the summer, and it's a long way to get there. You have to go from Gros Morne to Labrador, to drive to St. Mary's, take a ferry to Battle Harbour. So it is not an easy place to get to. So that's why it has stayed nice and hidden. But it is really, you know, people that go there love it. And, you know, again, read that article or many of the others there, and you'll discover places you'd never even heard of that are worth going this year.
Awesome. Underrated destinations. Love it, Lauren. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Take care.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.